We often talk about this pipeline of skilled workers that we need to remain competitive both as a region. Our skilled workforce here has been a competitive edge for northeastern Minnesota for generations and something we've been very proud of. But we've seen really a shift from the time that you could go to work for one company and work there for 30 years and retire. We don't see that anymore. Statistics indicate that the average individual changed jobs about 7 times throughout their working career. And so we are moving away from that guarantee of lifetime employment and started to take a look at how do we provide incumbent workers and students with access to training that they're going to need so that they can constantly upgrade their skills to move from lifelong employment to lifelong employability. And if we look at this pipeline, it really needs to become holistic. And I think we've made great progress toward that in the last couple of years, starting very young with Invest Early through the Blandin Foundation, where we're starting to take a look at these, that's the future workforce right there. How do we teach them to be responsible, to be respectable, to be accountable, to show up on time, to be a good person, to be a good student? That translates into being a good worker. How do we then ladder those young students into something like the Applied Learning Institute that you're going to be hearing about in a little while, that allows them to have some exposure to career and technical education that then ladders into the programs that we have created along with business and industry at the community and technical college level. Moving up that continuum to the middle section, we need to remember that over 50% of the workforce that will be in the workforce in 2025, they're already in the workforce today. And about 30% of the people in our region classify themselves as either un- or underemployed, meaning that they're either not utilizing the skills that they have in their job or they want to work more. How do we provide easy access through customized training for those individuals to improve their skills to move into one of those jobs that's being created, either by one of the new projects or by retirement right in your own company? And then this idea of how do we tap into that incredible pool of knowledge that that individual that has worked 30 years for you, are we going to let them just walk out the door with all that knowledge? Can we hook them up as a mentor? Can we work with them to make our schedules more flexible where they can work 2 or 3 hours a week? We have been working with a group out of Arlington, Virginia called Experience Works that is helping us really craft exactly how do we do that? How do we tap into that resource? One of the ideas is in entrepreneurship. I think one of the statistics was well over 60% of new businesses that open up in the United States are by people that are 55 years old or older. And so as we begin to look at the real economic drivers in our region, to help us identify what those core skills are that you're going to need moving forward. And one of the things that we've been very successful at, and I'm very proud of, is the fact that we have business and industry right at the table with us at the college level, developing curriculum that is going to produce that next generation of workers. A couple of these we're working on right now, and a couple are on the ground. For instance, we sat down with Cleveland Cliffs, and they helped us line out what that curriculum would look like for that next generation of workers in the mining industry. And we developed this AAS in industrial technology with an emphasis in mining. And that program started out at Mesaba Range. It's expanded to Hibbing this year, and it'll be opening, I believe, in Vermilion next year. And that was the child of that relationship between business and industry and education. We've had conversations with Joe Scipione at Polymet and Howard Hilshorst when he was with Minnesota Steel to talk about how can we then develop this industrial technology degree with a process specialist emphasis that would be specifically aimed at those two companies. We're working right now with Minnesota Power, I see Inez in the audience, at how do we develop this power generation emphasis, both in traditional and renewable, for the next generation of workers in the power industry, both in transmission, distribution, and generation. Of course, the pulp and paper emphasis program on the ground been very successful here. Another product of that sitting down with business and industry. And have developed a program between Boise and Rainy River Community College focused on maintenance. Customized training, a key component to any workforce development program. Half of those people are already in the workforce that'll be there in 2025. How do we make it accessible to them?